Welcome everybody to Austin, Texas, where it's a beautiful sunny day. The matchup between the Austin Blacks and the Huns Rugby Football Club. It's Derby Day here, about 80 degrees and sunny on a beautiful pitch, the Huns pitch on Nixon Lane. My name is Austin Byrne.
And I am Kevin McKitterick. We're going to be announcing for the rest of the game, walking you through a little bit of what's going on in this storied rivalry between the two biggest Austin teams out here. Now, we've been going at it some 30, 40 years now, correct?
Yeah, two of the oldest clubs in Texas Rugby Union, definitely in Central Texas, and it's been a hard-fought battle, I think, over the last 40 or so years.
Absolutely. I believe the Blacks have been coming out on top with a recent run at the national titles, coming in second place last year. Very close, tough loss. Huns are looking to make a redemption. A lot of roster changes, a lot of coaching changes, so we're interested to see what's going to be happening with the rest of the day.
So let's go through some of the starting lineup today for the Blacks. The front three with Troy Mussey, John Clary, and Sam Family Man Rook. Behind them, Chris Parker and Eric Reed. Connor Bertrand, Seth Saunders, and Tim Howard will be rounding out the back three. For the backs, Newt O'Donnell, recent grad of Davenport. Stephen Jones out of Newcastle Falcons. Pat Sullivan to Levi Coretti. And rounding that out, Ricky Johnson on one wing, Matt Radzovich on the other, and Antonio at fullback.
And leading you off for the Huns today, we have got Mac Zappa, Nico Martinez, Robert Drummond on the front line. The twins, the big wrecking crew, Brian Wellborn and Craig Wellborn, with Tim Fitzgerald and Kyle Breitenbach backing them up, and Rui Bronco at 8-man. Connecting the front to the back, we have Sean Cox, sending it to Lomani Tongo. We have Ratu Rakadulu, Sonny Taylor, Sam Feldman, Andrew Heller, and Thierry Dopin, the Frenchie himself. A little bit warm out today, little bit of a wind, keeping everything nice and good out here. Could not ask for a better day for this rivalry to unfold. Now, Austin, you've been with the Blacks for some time now, right?
I have about 7 years, and seen the clubs advance as USA Rugby has certainly grown up. There's now a professional league in the U.S. Had a few players from the Blacks actually go off to that league and really chase their rugby dreams, but luckily the Blacks do have a bunch of depth this year, and looking to capitalize on that as we go into the playoffs in a few weeks' time.
Absolutely. I know the emergence of the pro rugby scene has really sparked some of these players to bring their A game every time they have. They know that the eyes are on them, and here we go.
Kickoff. Steve Jonesy Jones kicks off. Big high kick, fielded by the Huns, and a good hit up. Blacks look like they're across the field pretty well. Good tackles right at the gain line by the Blacks. A little dirty there in the ruck.
Now, we expected this coming into this. This game's going to get a little bit physical coming through everything. Should see a lot of extracurricular rolling through right now.
There's Newt for the little chip over, and the mark is called, I believe.
Dangerous kick, good recovery.
Quick tap goes, good boot by the Huns.
Oh, and it stays in. This is going to give
bounce.
Huns a lot of time to get some good field positioning. Watching out for the return kick.
Out to Steve Jonesy with a good boot. Great nudge down into play.
Putting it right back into Hunt's danger zone. Expect a boot to send it away. And there we go, and that one will be out. And looks like they were shooting for the announcer table here.
Right now, both teams are jockeying for field position, as you know. You can kick it from behind the 22-meter line in rugby, have it go straight into touch, and play from the Blacks have a run at it right off the line out.
Hunt's contesting, trying not to commit too many to the ruck.
Looks like a penalty off his feet. Huns contesting that ruck probably just a bit too hard, and the Blacks elect to go for the posts. Now you have to keep your feet at the ruck. Once you're off your feet and you start to put your hands on the ball, that does turn into a penalty.
Replay running through right here with the end, and we are off our feet digging around. There we go. He should have rolled away as soon as he lost his feet. Bad turn of luck for the Huns. Just need to tighten it up a bit. Things should look good.
Kicking for the Blacks is Pat Big Data Sullivan, call him that because he can process quite a bit of information in real time on the field. He's a great, great player out of Arkansas State. And it looks like he slots it.
The kick is good. Gives the Blacks 3 to Huns 0. Now, real physical start coming straight into this. The Huns looking like they've got a little bit of jitters coming into this, trying to make a point. Hitting hard, but need to tighten up the contact just to make sure that it's all on the level.
The Blacks with first blood receiving the kickoff now. It's high. Connor Bertrand takes it very nicely. Looks like a penalty here as he was
Looks like he was
hit
hitting the air.
off his feet.
Yeah. There we go. A little extracurricular.
Little fun there. See, this is what's great about this particular rivalry is there's a lot of history between the two teams, but a lot of these guys know each other pretty well.
Absolutely. A lot of friends on and off the pitch. Little talking to from the official.
Stephen Jones looking to put it into touch. And it's a great kick by Jonesy.
Excellent kick from Jones. Going to give the Blacks a really good field position here to strike back at the Huns try line. Now, can you give us a quick walkthrough just for the people? Oh, never mind. We're doing a quick in here.
Johnny Clary for the Blacks throwing in. Takes the line out nicely. Seth Saunders to Newt O'Donnell, to Stephen Jones, to Pat Sullivan. They're spreading it wide. Antonio Wynn over to Ricky Johnson, but it looks like he just couldn't come up with the ball.
It was a good strike by the Blacks. A little bit of bad luck on the end there. Huns having trouble spreading the defense to keep up with this wide Blacks offense. Replay coming through.
Great line by number 13, Levi Coretti. That dummy line, Antonio puts it right out to Ricky Johnson, who just can't come up with it.
Hits him in the hands. Hardest place to catch it from.
Now the Huns will be looking to scrum, I believe, the first scrum of the game.
That's correct.
Let's see how they match up the big forwards from the Blacks.
A lot of experience from this Blacks forward pack.
Sean
Nice,
Cox
match.
with the feed.
Stood up quickly here.
And Sean out wide with a nice switch line there. Good tackle by the Blacks to keep him. Good job, Jonesy.
Huns looking to keep the ball inside instead of attacking the same as the Blacks have been here.
Back out again. Again, Blacks defense. And the Huns look to clear.
And that bounces out into touch, looks like.
That'll be a line out up where the kick was made as the ball was taken outside of the 22, passed back into the 22, and then as it was kicked, went straight into touch.
Now, that is a bad break for the Huns. This is going to put them in a pretty rough position to defend here. Defense has been looking like they are trying to make a point, so let's see him come out here and do something.
Seth Saunders goes up high with that full head of hair. The Blacks looking to maul here. Johnny Clary with the ball.
Huns fighting through.
He's on the ground. That probably should have been a penalty there.
That's the Wellborns. Oh, that looked like it was just super unlucky.
And a little bit messy ball.
Absolutely.
As it looks like a knock on by the Huns, the Blacks will be taking into the scrum.
Oh, yeah. It was just a bad bit of balance rolling into legs. And again, we are expecting to see extracurricular, but man, it is coming off quick here.
Yeah, some good hard hits and certainly a fast pace of play by these two Division I teams.
Looks like we're taking a minute to reform.
Newt Noodles O'Donnell at 9 for the Blacks, looking to feed and scrum. A lot of force behind those packs.
Absolutely. That collision on the front had to be calmed down in recent years from all the injuries coming through.
Blacks secure possession. Again, good line by Levy Creddy. And a drop by the
Unlucky
Blacks.
break.
Cannot capitalize on that wide ball.
I think both sides felt like they got a little bit shafted on that. Rough knock to a rough pickup. That's okay. The ball will get a restart over there.
Certainly. One of the things you see on these really hot days are squandered opportunities, either it be sweat or just general lethargy. But the Blacks are looking to attack, it seems, and just coming up short. Sean Cox going to feed the ball into the Huns scrum. And the 8-man pick. Good tackle by number 7, Seth Saunders for the Blacks. Penalty given to the Blacks.
Huns having a hard time with the referee here.
Great poach ball by Tim Howard, veteran of the Austin Blacks of 4 or 5 years. You see 8-man pick, tackle right at the gain line. And Tim Howard over the ball with a great poach. Big Data Sullivan will be looking to slot this through. 3 points.
Blacks doing a great job at maintaining their composition and taking points where they can get them here. Slotting this right here will put them ahead 6-0. And
he
it
slots
looks good.
Blacks up 6-0. We'll be receiving the next kickoff here. Slowly chipping away, but it's seen some flashes of brilliance from both sides so far.
Absolutely. Huns need to make a few little changes to avoid these penalties. It's really what's killing them right now.
That's right. Blacks ready for the kick reception. It's a high ball. Chris Parker goes up for it. Great take in the air. Retained possession. Newt O'Donnell looks with a clearance. Nice little kick from
That's
Newt.
up in the air.
And it's a slip to
bad
knock
luck.
on. Advantage is given and taken.
Looked like Andrew Heller just couldn't get under that one. Went straight through the breadbasket there. It's coming down, and yep, those elbows out. That'll get you every time.
It's a bright sun out there. The ball's probably a little bit sweaty. The Blacks had some good pressure and just couldn't come up with it, so we'll go to the Blacks for
Sean
another
Cox
scrum.
finding himself under about 17 pairs of cleats after he hit the ground there. You can see the fro on the back end there, ready to strike. It's like a little mongoose.
That's what they say about Sean Cox. He does have a full head of hair. I believe.
Speaking of hair, good Lord.
There's another full head of hair. Seth Saunders, the number 7 for the Blacks, and Sean Cox, number 9 for the Huns, should have some sort of a contest on who has better hair.
Good drive by the Huns side. Blacks get ball out.
Blacks decide to go wide again with a big pass over to Ricky Johnson from Pat Sullivan, who's past the 22. Great defense, offloads into seemingly thin air, and it looks like the Blacks may have lost the ball here.
Yeah, Huns have recovered, and they're trying to fight through, but they are having trouble. Looks like they'll get a chance to reset here. Sean Cox delivering.
And the clearance kick.
That looks like it went out pretty early.
So the kick into touch, but not very far past the 22. The Blacks have another opportunity here to score.
Yeah, here we go. That huge skip pass, busting that wing open. Good contact by Thierry himself.
And Ricky Johnson probably giving it up a little bit too early, looking to make something happen. Seth Saunders off the top to Jonesy. Pat Sullivan with a hard line down the middle. Good tackle by the Huns.
A lot of contest under the ball.
And the Huns are awarded a penalty.
I believe that's the first. Uh-oh.
There's the extracurriculars we're talking about.
Um,
Tim Howard slowing it down.
just a little bit of a group hug. Tim Fitzgerald wanted to say hi to everyone. He's from Australia. They're very friendly folks. Well, you can see the Wellborns cheering on the Blacks as well.
Big number 5, Eric Reed, former U.S. national team player. Looks a little bit testy here. Looks like something may have happened down at the bottom of the ruck.
Oh, that was a handful of Wellborn right there. Good Lord. Yeah, I think we generally see some shenanigans at the bottom of the ruck. That was definitely a fistful of not so nice there.
Who's that on the ground there?
It looks like one of the Wellborns. God, you hate to see that. It definitely happens. You get heated. You get at the bottom of the ruck. Everyone's mad. The rivalry's going.
And it looks like number 8, Timothy Howard, after trying to settle down that group shoving, is awarded a yellow card, so he'll be off for 10 minutes.
It's going to be rough for the Blacks. He has been a figure out there for him right now.
Tim Howard with a lot of experience for the Blacks. He's sitting for about 10 minutes.
All right, take the call back, man. Put him back on the field.
Huns looking to capitalize on this line out, get into Blacks territory. Robert Drummond with the throw in. One of the Wellborns takes it down, but loses it as he takes it to the ground. A knock on scrum to the Blacks.
Man, Craig's still feeling that action he got earlier. Usually you have to pay a little extra for that on the field.
That's right. Hope not to see that again today. The referee saying straight out the tunnel. Matt Zappa.
Big number 5 is having a day for the Blacks.
Zappa with a few words from the Huns side. That ball was straight out of the tunnel. We'll have another scrum.
Replay coming through.
You see the ref call.
Whoop.
Eric Reed, a little bit testy for the Blacks today.
Absolutely. I believe he was responsible for the testes earlier as well. Uh-oh, loose ball.
Loose ball. Good defense by the Huns. Blacks may have retained possession.
Trying to peel it off. This is dirty.
Looks like the Huns ball, but Blacks get the penalty. Didn't catch what that was.
And here we go on the replay real quick. Get a better look at what happened here. Looks like a bit of a mishandle of the ball in the back end.
And some good play, but maybe coming from the side there.
Could have been. A lot of issues going on with what happened there either way. No coach is going to watch that breakdown and think, good job, guys.
Yeah, didn't catch the referee's signal, but it looks like Pat Sullivan will be looking to slot again.
Pat is definitely working out his kicking leg this time around. This is probably the hardest shot he's taken so far. He is pretty wide and pretty deep on this one, but he's shown it to be competent so far. Boot is up.
Boot.
That's on fire.
And through.
It's good.
Big kick by Big Data. And the Blacks go up 9-0.
Hey, keep it up, Dennis Rodman. You got this.
Now, the Huns have got to be feeling disheartened by this because you know, when you don't see tries screaming down the field, you think, all right, I'm doing my job. They're not getting through. But how do you stop a guy with a kick from 45 meters out from anywhere on the field?
That's right. If you recall, February, Pat slotted a last-minute conversion to put the Blacks up 27-25 against the Griffins. Seth Saunders with a knock-on.
Craig Wellborn picks it up, tries to buzz through. Huns look like they're slowing down the offense a bit just to try to gather themselves.
And Sean Cox tries to go up there.
It looks like he was working into traffic. Not the choice to make there.
Didn't have the support he needed there. So the Huns resort to slow ball. The forwards
dedicating a lot of numbers to this ruck here. Letting the Blacks break out and really line up on defense.
The Blacks have good defense across the field. As a tackle's missed.
Stab, good movement.
Absolutely beautiful line from the Huns.
One more pass and that was gone. Huns just need to be patient with this.
Sean Cox still looking to retire to that sideline.
Oh, is it a cross? He's close.
And the Huns really putting up a fight here to try to score that first try.
They're in the danger zone, just trying to hammer it in. This Blacks defense is relentless in the red zone.
Johnny Clary off the ruck. Great tackle.
Let's see if the Huns decide to spin it out and take a shot on the outside. Might have a little better luck with some room to stretch their legs.
And Sean decides to go
there
wide.
It is, to the
Saunders with the tackle last minute. Gets the knock-on for the Blacks. Great hustle by number 7, Seth Saunders.
That is heartbreaking for the Huns. Such a great work through.
As you see, Sean Cox decides to spin it wide with the big man. Breaks one,
Busted
2
through.
tackles.
Stiff arm, comes
and
through.
Seth Saunders with the hustle at the end.
Looks like he would touch it down with one hand, which day one of rugby, you learn run with 2 hands. You get too comfortable and things like that happen. Great effort. Let's see if we can get him down there again. He knows what he did.
It looks like the Huns do have a penalty advantage, so the scrum will be going to them. That's unfortunate, but great defense by number 7, Seth Sunshine Saunders.
What you see, it looks like the Huns backline is moving around pretty well. While the Blacks are preferring to spin it out wide and rely on speed, Huns are trying to stay pretty tight and work on a little more footwork on the inside.
That's right, and you'll see that different characteristic between these two teams, wide and keeping it pretty narrow from the Hun side. Scrum looks very, very good.
Absolutely, this Hun scrum is driving forward. Ball is out.
The advantage given, I believe.
A lot of traffic.
Again, back in the same situation the Blacks were. Spinning it wide. Number 13 takes it up.
Opting to try to run it in, finding 3 Black defenders waiting for him. Good line from Robert Drummond.
Great unders line. Sean Cox looking to go wide again. Big tackle.
A lot of movement going
right
through right here.
Line. The Blacks are really giving it their all right now.
Sean Cox busting through.
Sean Cox with the first try of the day right under the post. Great little sidestep from Cox.
Excellent, excellent move by Sean Cox. Might have lost a few brain cells against that goal pad there. Oh yeah, he's feeling it.
That's right, he certainly used that as something to bounce off of and make sure he dotted the ball down.
Replay coming through. Dong. Sean Cox.
Maybe the referee finding himself in a little bit of trouble there. Hopefully he's okay.
That's all right. Excellent, excellent job by the scrummy there. And the kick coming through from Thierry Daupin. His last name is decidedly French and probably mispronounced. And it looks
Thierry
good.
slots.
It's going to bring the score to 9-7. Still in favor of the Blacks, but some good looks from the Huns on the way back.
Huns certainly look like they came to play today, and of course this is their home field with hundreds of fans out here on this beautiful day. So really good, hard-fought rugby by the Huns to slot it in there at the end.
Absolutely, and those of you that play rugby in Texas and have played on this field know there's been a lot of improvements out here. Huns have made a huge effort to really bring forward a very great facility. The Blacks just around the corner doing excellent themselves. Huns looking to take a step further into the professional rugby realm by building the entire arena out here. Plan is in the works, nothing on paper yet, but we're all looking forward to it.
Certainly. Be good for rugby in the U.S. and Texas.
Absolutely.
It's the Blacks looking to kick off here. Stephen Jonesy Jones with the boot deep. Decides to go deep to the 22. Huns with a good run up here.
Great movement coming through, looking for support. Finds it, and Timothy Fitzgerald, who's trying to fend his way through, opts to go to deck.
Huns look for the clearance kick. Great kick from the Huns here.
It's rare that you see a big fellow with a boot like that.
Great kick from the Huns into empty space. Puts them in the Blacks' half.
Absolutely, and this is not where the Blacks want to be with how well the Huns just moved the ball. Oh, here's that kick again. Wow, that is a beautiful kick. Good attempt to run it down. There's just not enough time.
The Blacks taking the line out with Johnny Clare anchoring the forward pack here.
Nico Martinez leading his pack.
Seth Saunders again at the high point with a great grab, line out.
Boot goes up. And Andrew Heller recovers, elbows in. Gets the nice offload. Looks like we've only got one, though. Not enough support to keep that running. And
a clear offsides for number 5, Craig Wellborn.
We have a Huns player down. Looks like Andrew Heller. Oh, that is not Andrew Heller. Andrew Heller's back there.
What we think that penalty may be. And it looks...
That might have been the offsides call right there if something didn't happen beforehand. Mama T coming out with a cold compress. That's actually Kyle Breitenbach. Yeah, definitely took some action on the ground there. Looking like he's all right.
The Blacks will be defending again with this penalty ordered to the Huns.
And it looks like the Huns kicking for the most part has been pretty spot on, giving them the field positioning they want, save for I think one flub earlier from inside the 22. This game's going to be saving them both a lot of energy on this hot day. That sun's really beating down on them right now.
Certainly is, with about 15 to go in the first half. Let's see how the Blacks defend this Huns lineout.
The Huns definitely don't want to go into the half trailing, but they have a rough line
throw,
out.
But
it
taken
works out
on the bounce by the big man. Thundering forward, brought down over the gain line.
That is a lot of momentum to stop. Sean Cox fumbling the ball a little bit.
And Stephen Jones with some good defense there.
Absolutely. Looks like the Huns are getting a little bit nervous, trying to do too much at once. And there's
Blacks
a turnover.
come out with the ball. With the clearance kick by Matt Radzovich.
And
a
out into
good
nowhere.
chase as well. Let's see what Thierry decides to do.
And Matt Rad, a recent convert from the Huns, coming up and being a good force for the Blacks.
So the Blacks here will start here with a line out right on their 10-meter line.
And we'll see that turnover here. Just a little Huns loose ball handling in that ruck. Like I said, too much at once, not keeping their wits about them, just getting too excited, let the adrenaline take over, and it's real easy to lose that ball forward.
The Blacks go with the deep throw, but it looks like it might not have been straight as the Huns elect for the scrum.
Absolutely, probably a wise choice. Huns have been doing pretty good on the scrum so far. They want to keep that power going forward.
On Blacks, big
And that
push.
was a tough break for the Blacks. This is not the place you want to turn the ball over. They're not in any imminent danger right now, but they'd be a lot happier about 50 meters towards the Huns.
That's right. The Huns certainly seized some momentum here, capitalizing and playing within the Blacks' half for the last 5 or so minutes. Let's see if they can capitalize on this set piece
Oh,
here.
you can see these boys chomping at the bit to get at it.
Sean Cox elects to go wide. Great break through the gain line.
And that is the biggest fly half I have seen in my life.
And it's lost forward,
Sean
unfortunately.
Cox making sure that nothing comes out of this with the atomic wedgie over the top.
With Levy Coretti grabbing it, securing possession for the Blacks, and the Blacks deciding to go wide, but may have been an offsides there. Let's see what we got.
Judging by that face, this is a call for the Huns.
Looks as if it's going to be scrum to the Blacks, actually, for the knock-on.
Oh, there you go.
Deep downfield. The Blacks, of course, looking to clear. As the mark is right on the 22. I'm not sure what the referee's discretion will be here. It's to be just behind the 22, so the Blacks can clear it directly into touch if they'd like.
There you go. That's a pretty good scrum.
With the boot from Stephen Jones.
Comes
A good
through
little
low.
swivel kick.
Pressure on him. Pressure on him. Go, keep
Looks like
going,
Terry's
keep
going to be
going.
under pressure. He does not want to risk getting a knock-on back here.
With the boot out, directly out into touch. The Blacks gained a little bit of field there with that back and forth.
And again, we saw Matt Radzovich trying to run that down. Ooh, little trickery from the Blacks, trying to take the quick in here.
Levy Coretti and Stephen Jones seem to have a great chemistry amongst the two of them.
Put together some faces, boys.
Absolutely, I dare say that was a stroke of good luck for the Huns. That didn't fly. And looks like our official is making sure this game stays tight. I think with all of the extra activity that we had at the beginning, he's going to be blowing that whistle just to make sure there's no more messing around.
Certainly cleaning up the line out for the Blacks. Seth Saunders again with the good take. Newt O'Donnell out to Stephen Jones. Out to Pat Sullivan with a slight boot down the middle.
Great kick.
Right
Terry's
to
on this one
Thierry.
again. They're expecting the kick back, so nobody chases. What a kick. Good placement. Probably going to be looking for the quick in on this one. Andrew Heller trying to interrupt it and mark it.
Another good clearance kick, but it looks like we have a Blacks player down on the field. I believe it might be Pat Sullivan.
Again, you hate to see that. Sullivan's been another force.
Great take by
Let's see.
number 7, Seth Sunshine Saunders.
Trying to get an eye on what happened. Couldn't see it on that replay. He's taking a second right now. Might be some knee trouble. We do have a medic out on the field. Hopefully that's nothing too serious.
As the players decide to take a quick water break, make sure they're hydrated on this hot day in Texas. Pat Sullivan looking to get that knee in better form. This would certainly be a blow for the Blacks, as Pat Sullivan is not only the points kicker for the Blacks, but is a very experienced inside center.
And he's hung all 9 on the board so far, correct?
That's right.
Absolutely. That would be very unfortunate. You hate to see this happen. Even as a Huns fan here, you don't want to see it go out like this. Oh, he's getting a little assistance going off the field. That's a rough break. Well, he definitely did his work while he was in.
So in for Patrick Sullivan is Hamish Roberts wearing the number 22 jersey. Hamish recently played on the Division II squad. Great player from Scotland. They call him the Evil Scotsman. We're not quite sure why, but he's certainly pretty evil on the field with his sidestep. So we'll see if he can slot in and fill that void left by Pat Sullivan.
Absolutely, and it's going to be hard to follow up that kicking leg coming off the field. Pat was really doing work for the Blacks out there. It's nice to have somebody that reliable.
Chris Parker with a take, but lost. the Blacks again with good defense. As the Huns decide to go wide again. With a
Huns
nice
looking for an
little
inside
switch.
line.
Sean Cox looking around. Might slow it down here.
It looks like the Huns are dedicating a lot of resources to keep these balls safe in the rug. Good fight through past the gain line.
A little boot from the Huns over the top.
And that landed in.
With Antonio Wynn.
That looks like a line out to the Huns.
Antonio Wynn, smart move, but one I'm sure he didn't want to have as there's pressure on. Just booting it straight out, not dealing with a mass of Huns running at him.
Absolutely, and it definitely feels like that his only other option there was it was either knock it out of bounds or get hit and let the Huns score.
And the Blacks come up with it.
Kind of a lose-lose option there.
There's a knock-on by the Huns in the line-out. Blacks with advantage. The high boot.
That one traveled for days.
With the wing, Ratu Rokadulu.
Terry putting the
little
boot,
sidestep.
just loving that corner.
Matt Radzovic with the boot downfield.
And that looks like it's coming straight out. We'll just see if that was from inside the 22.
And almost into our booth. Matt Radzovic with the clearance kick, but I don't think he got quite what he liked. Huns still playing in the Blacks half.
Very vocal game. Huns
Sean
grab it on the
Cox
line out.
puts it out.
Whoa, that looks like Tim Fitzgerald coming through to say hello.
Sean Cox maybe a little bit late to the ruck there, but the Huns still deciding to go wide. Good hard line run by the Huns.
Absolutely. Blacks defense are going to have to cinch up these corners or else they're going to risk a lot more Huns tries coming through.
Huns looking a little bit nervous here. They need to secure possession and keep driving forward.
Absolutely. We saw one of the panic offloads just then. It worked out for him, but
And the Blacks load the ruck and a few good counter rucks. The Blacks get the advantage.
absolutely. And that was a good call by the Blacks defense coming through and just pouring in. Not going to let the Huns gain 2 and 3 meters on every little run.
And I think Sam Family Man Rook, the big number 3 there, about 210 pounds. I think he did a pretty good job.
I'm looking for the penalty. There is a lot going on. Could have been the knock-on right there. The ref extended his arm early.
Sean Cox still on the turf.
Looks like he's got a little bit of a limp walking off. That's another one. The Huns would hate to see Sean Cox off the field. He's been a force out here, really doing a great job directing the offense and getting him down the line.
Yeah, you see a lot of dependable, strong players getting hurt out here today. Pat Sullivan, one of them. Sean Cox with a limp. So we don't knock too many of the players out, but it's a good, hard battle. Like I said, Derby Day in Austin, Texas. Great rivalry between the Huns and the Blacks. As the Blacks look to set the scrum, Newt O'Donnell feeding the ball.
Now, we've seen a lot of scrums this game. Those forwards have got to be worn out. This is just leg pressing for days. Oh,
As the scrum
has
collapses,
collapsed.
looks like the referee's going to go ahead and have a re-scrum there.
Any of those front rowers know what it's like. As soon as that scrum collapses, there's a lot of panic and arms flying up, letting you know something goes wrong. It's a lot of pressure from all 8 people driving in through just 3 necks.
Yeah, when you have 2 teams this good, this strong of guys, you don't want to see anybody get hurt because the scrum is setting properly.
Absolutely.
About 3.5 minutes left here in the first half. The Blacks again with a scrum. Good strong push by the Huns, but Blacks retain possession with a pick by
Huns fighting around. Flanker
Tim
coming
Howard.
through. Again, real physical rucks.
With the clearance kick from Steve Jones.
And that'll go straight out of bounds, but he did kick from inside the 22, so the lineout will be from the point where the ball crossed. And there we have Kirk Tate and his hat. If you know Kirk Tate, you know Kirk Tate's hat, and there's just not much else to say about it. We're all a little bit embarrassed, but he just won't stop. Partnered, of course, with Alex the Hamster Lyles. Of course, called the Hamster because he sleeps on a large bed of wood chips. A little known fact about Alex Lyles.
Yeah, Kirk Tate, a long-time Texas Rugby Union volunteer, supporter, and leader.
If you've ever met him, he's told you about it, probably over a couple
Newt
hours.
O'Donnell with a great pickup to Sam Rook right before he goes
risky
into
unload.
touch. But Black somehow come up with it. Connor Bertrand on the ground with
Absolutely.
Newt putting it back behind the forward pack, back to Steve Jones. And Levi Coretti taking it into contact.
Get in there!
Looks as if a knock-on is called on the Blacks, so the Huns will be taking this next scrum.
Play coming through.
As you can see, looks for the good hard line.
Oh,
puts it out
that's
to Levi
fake.
Coretti.
Sam Feldman bites on that little fake pump.
But generally, good defense by the Huns. And Newt O'Donnell might have just lost it a bit forward there.
A lot of hands were flying in on that.
Deep in the Huns half.
We talked about this before. You see a lot of panic. I mean, right now the score is so close going into the half. Neither team wants to be behind, so we're going to see a little looser play. It shouldn't be like this, but adrenaline's going to start getting the better of these guys as we come through these final minutes. Oh, good shrug off of the tackle.
Right, about a minute and a half to play, but it looks like that might have been high in the referee awarding penalty advantage to the Huns.
Tell you what, the Huns have some backliners that look about the entire size of other backlines that I've seen.
Combined.
Yep.
Sean Cox puts it out wide again, looking to spin it.
Oh, good switch. Huns have numbers out here. Matt Radzovich looked to respond. Radzovich too quick to let them take the corner.
Good defense from the family man himself. Really working to get over to the sideline. Looking to spin it again. Really a lack of urgency there for the Huns.
Look, that was Lomani Tongo, because just one Tongo wouldn't have done the work.
Roll it out, Sam!
Again, the Blacks with great defense here, but the Huns retaining possession phase after phase.
Ooh.
And the Blacks awarded the penalty.
Looks like we have a Blacks player off the field. Took contact, felt it right in his arm. That seems to be the dreaded stinger. That is the number 7, Seth Saunders. This might not be good. He is still down right now.
Sunshine Saunders is a guy who's pretty tough. I know him quite well. He doesn't go out that often, though, so to see him on the sideline here is
Oh, you can see it on his
scary.
face. He might have dislocated that. Looks like our medic is trying to pop things back into place to make sure he'll be all right. We've seen a pretty high number of injuries and people coming off the field, especially for one half of play here. I imagine we'll have some pretty decent penalty time coming through.
Blacks are awarded the penalty. Stephen Jones looks to slot this in Pat Sullivan's absence.
We'll see if he can live up to Sullivan's legacy in this game.
It's a good boot, but looks just a bit wide, and that might be the half. No, we'll take it back up to a 22 where the Huns will restart them.
Now, for those who don't know, the amount of stoppage time we had from people being injured, penalty time is going to accrue at the end of the half just to make sure that we get a good 40 minutes of play in. So the referee's keeping an eye on that watch. He's decided how much time is going to be coming through. Good little kick. Huns working into open field. Not a lot of support coming through. He's looking for it. That's a shame. That'll be a knock-on.
The Huns lost forward, but the referee seemingly not calling it. The Blacks
Looks like
sideline absolutely mad about the missed call there.
Absolutely. Only other thing I could think of is if Black's player caught it with his foot and he's calling that a kick.
Sean Cox looking to go wide again with a little boot out by Tongo Tongo.
Oh, that ball's still live. Blacks do not want to see this. Little soccer game going up the pitch, looking for support, not making a smart offload. Huns need to get this back under control, organize themselves, and get that ball out. Sean Cox looking for it. Nico Martinez trying to make the run through. Timothy Fitzgerald goes and hammers, makes it right to the gain line. Doesn't see much else.
The Blacks again with the penalty.
Huns have got to watch out. These penalties are killing them. We've seen a few drives now that have been stopped in their tracks due to penalty calls.
I think the Blacks are lucky there to get that penalty, but good defense all around. Great attack by the Huns.
Sure, the sideline feels a little more justified after what appeared to be a missed knock-on by the referee.
Yeah, you know, and it's just tough. There's a lot of things to look at on the field for a referee, and so it's good to see the referee make the right calls, but sometimes they'll just miss one.
All right, let's see what we can find here. Oh.
Levy Creddy looks to come over that ball.
It was probably coming in from the side.
That's right.
It was a good effort by Nico Martinez, but
just a bit late, and that's what forced him to come in on the side as Levy was in a great position to poach that ball.
And Huns hate to see all that momentum lost. They're going to look to recover it quickly here before this half ends.
By Johnny Clary.
Uh-oh. Dangerous ball. Hospital ball goes up in the air. Everyone's staring up. Somebody's going to get their ribs tagged. And the ref blows up the half.
As you can see, both teams really tired here.
All right, and we are off to halftime.
Blacks lead 9-7.